welcome to the Prophecy Club. I've got, believe it or not, Pastor Lindsey Williams on the phone with me today. He served as a missionary on the Trans-Alaska Oil Pipeline for some 3 years back in the 70s, where he became friends with some of the elite that rule the world. And he says absolutely positively there is a group of people that rule the world, and he is one of the sources. Now, again, everything in the DVD that I made, 2014 to 2021, we still stand by, but he is one of the sources that told me that the Pope was going to speak September 25th, 2015, and that he would announce the New World Order. So we're going to talk about that and a lot more today. Lindsey, so pleased to have you on the Prophecy Club today.
Stan, it's a privilege, and let me just say that this is only the second show that I have done with anybody in 2 years' time. I have been quiet intentionally. So, yes, it's good to be back on Prophecy Club today.
Okay. You said that the Pope would announce the New World Order, world government, on September 25th, 2015. The big question is, did he?
He did exactly what the elite wanted him to do. Now, let me go back to your statement at the beginning of the program, because it's been so long since I've been introduced to your people. Many years ago, I was actually invited to be the chaplain to the elite of the world. That's correct. I was a missionary in Alaska at the time, and literally lived with those people for 3 years' time, made friends with some of them, have kept in touch with them for the past 37 years. One died back 4 years ago, Mr. Ken Fromm, who was the CEO of the Atlantic Richfield, and then retired. Now I still have one individual who knows everything that's going on. And as a result, when I give a prediction, it doesn't come from me. People like to say that, well, Lindsey Williams, you know, you're the one who gives this. No, I don't. I just am a little unknown. I would have been totally unknown if it had not been for the fact that by the providence of God, he put me on the Trans-Alaska Oil Pipeline, and I got to meet these people and stay in touch with them. As a result, whenever I say something that, and put it on my website, lindseywilliams.net, appear on a program like this, it's because the elite have given me the information. This was one of the strangest ones imaginable, because I listened to the speech of the Pope also when he spoke before the UN, and he never used the expression New World Order. Then I had to try to find out why. You know, oftentimes my elite friends don't tell me things in advance. I have to actually call them or email them and try my best to find out what the real story is, and so I did, and here's what they had to do. Now, you remember that the expression New World Order was originally introduced by Daddy Bush, George Herbert W. Bush, many, many years ago, over 20 years ago now, and it has been going on and on and on. Many, many different people have used it. Henry Kissinger uses it on a regular basis. Other elite do. It has gotten to the point that it has been picked up and believed by so many in the patriotic field and people like myself and Stan until they're scared of it. They literally know that we have caught up with them in some ways, and they could not use this expression. The Pope could not use it. He had to use something else, and he did. He did introduce it, by the way, let me say up front. The Pope did introduce officially the New World Order, had its inception at the time that he appeared at the UN and spoke before the Congress of the United States of America, in which, again, speaking before Congress, he did not use the expression New World Order. So, when I found out the truth, Agenda 21 is identically the same thing. They just put another wording on it so that the Pope didn't get himself in trouble, and so that many of us would have to ask and go and dig and find out what really happened. They did sign the agreement. The New World Order is officially initiated as of the time of the UN meeting and the Pope being there, and he was used as a figurehead, because keep in mind now that if in the future Agenda 21 or the New World Order, which are identical, you can't separate the two, they're the one and the same, and in the future, whenever Agenda 21 is mentioned, and he says to the Catholic, his Catholics all over the world, you should obey it. or gives an encyclical that they're supposed to, then look what a congregation he has already. Look how many people already they have that if the Antichrist appeared on the scene, would immediately take the mark of the beast. The New World Order has been initiated as of the Pope being at the UN, and anytime you hear the word Agenda 21 from now on, just understand that it's the identical same thing as saying New World Order.
Okay, now tell us about what he signed.
They signed Agenda 21, along with the leaders of the world who were there at the meeting at the UN.
We have seen a drastic drop, not only in the response to our ministry, your ministry, but we hear it is taking place all over. Explain what you think is going on.
Well, Stan, I am so glad you asked me this question. Oh, my gracious, I wish I could answer it in person to every single person that ever goes to LindseyWilliams.net or ever heard me on a radio show. I put out a DVD back about 4 months ago entitled Things That Must Take Place, Things That You Must Do Before September the 15th in preparing for what the elite have planned for September through the end of December. Nowhere, ever in that DVD did I ever say that my elite friend had told me that everything would take place in September. Quite to the contrary. We saw the signs. We saw the last of the 4 blood moons. We saw this cycle of 7. We saw on and on and on and on. You could go with so many things that took place in September. Those were only the sign of things to come. They are going to happen. So, same thing exactly happened to LindseyWilliams.net. People, oh my gracious, what is happening? Please give me an update. Oh my gracious, I was deluged with emails of people saying, please give us an update. Well, there was no update really necessary because I had given it months earlier in my DVD. Basically, the update is this. Nothing has changed. Not one plan of the elite has been altered. Everything is identical to what they said they were going to do and what my elite friend and my Wall Street insiders all said they were going to do. It's identically the same. Nothing has been changed. And people who let their guard down, it's one of the worst things that they could ever possibly do because they have set themselves up for one horrible situation. It's going to take place, and before the last day of December, mark my words, you are going to see the catastrophic events that the elite have said that they're going to do.
Well, now, I got an email today that said some people are disappointed because some of the people were saying that the tribulation was going to start in September. First of all, let me just say that I know I didn't say it, and I know you didn't say that. Others have said, oh, well, it's the blood moons, the tribulation's here. No, we didn't say that. As a matter of fact, the only thing I said that would happen in September is that on September 25th, 2015, Pope is scheduled to announce the New World Order, and I got one of the 2 witnesses of that was you. All the rest of it, I simply said, well, we know that the Shemitah's coming. You know what Jonathan Kahn had said. We know that September 23rd is the Jubilee. And by the way, I already talked about that. That was fulfilled too. So you and I haven't missed on anything. Not a thing.
Stan, you love your people. Everybody out there listening to this radio broadcast, you love them. I've heard you say it so many times. I love all of those who go to LindseyWilliams.net and get the updates every time the elite gives me one. But, folks, I'm going to have to be as frank with you as I possibly can, and that is, you don't hear half of what we say. I mean, please forgive me. I don't mean that in a derogatory manner at all whatsoever. Go back to what Stan has said. Go back to what Lindsey Williams has said, and you'll find out that nothing has been said ever that would indicate that everything was going to take place in September. I didn't say that the crash of the stock market was going to take place in September. I never said that the financial collapse would take place in September. Never, ever, ever. In fact, I made it very plain in the last message I gave, which was my previous DVD, that it will take place between September the 15th, and we haven't even gone by a month yet, and the last day of December, and Stan, I wish that we could just reach out there and hug every one of those folks out in our audience and tell them how much we appreciate them. But go back and listen to what we said. And, folks, you will not let your guard down one bit. You won't stop listening to Prophecy Club one iota. You'll keep right on, and you will see it happen exactly as the elite have it planned. Barring divine intervention, it will happen just like the elite have told me, and Stan has repeated.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you the question that I'm going to give you my opinion on first. And let me just tell you, this doesn't come from me. This comes from one of my elite friends, and it's not the same one that Lindsey has. But he told me that people, now again, I do not have a second witness on this. So if you don't want to believe it, that's fine. And I need to give you a disclaimer. This is not a financial show, and we're not giving financial advice, and you should not make any financial decisions based upon this or any other Prophecy Club broadcast, okay? But what my elite friend told me probably a week ago, he said people will be shocked at the events that will happen before the end of October. Now, that's what he said. He said, and I said, like what? He says the announcement of a new world order, a world government, a world financial system. Now, again, he was not meaning to be quoted and put it on radio. Okay, that is just hearsay. But my question is, Lindsey, what do you think, or more importantly, what has the elite said is coming, whether it's the end of October or whether it's the end of December? What have they said is coming this year?
When the first day of October came around and people started sending me these gobs of emails begging for an update, one or two calling me names, they'll take it back before December, by the way. The first thing I did was got on the email to my elite friend. Now, let me try to explain. This man's in his 70s. He flies his own airplane still. He knows everything that's going on. He is a big game hunter. He loves hunting Kodiak bear and moose. This is moose hunting season, bear hunting season in Alaska. I know exactly where he is. I can't get him. He won't say a word. He really didn't expect anything to happen up until today. And I emailed him yesterday again, begging him for some answers. He may still be out there hunting Kodiak bear. That's how much they put fear, the amount of concern that they had, or the concern they had for their children.
We'll be right back after this message. Legally, we can't guarantee this trouble will come this year, but of course, having emergency supplies is a good idea. Mina Grebin says she was told to have at least 1 year's food and supplies, including water, and you must have all preparations done by the end of the 2015 summer. She says buy food and supplies. We offer Plan A, 3 meals a day, 1 person, 1 year. Plan B, 1 person, 6 months. Plan C, 1 person, 3 months, or a grab-and-go bucket with 72 meals. Call 800-924-7110 or go to prophecyclubfood.com. That's 800-924-7110 or prophecyclubfood.com. Lindsey Williams has just made his newest and perhaps his best DVD called Fall 2015 Preparations. That's right. Topics are events scheduled for September through December. Things the elite told me to do. Know what you're preparing for. Have an alternate location. Move or suffer. How to stay warm without electricity, and the date the New World Order will be implemented. You did hear that right. It's Fall 2015 Preparations. Call 785-266-1112 or go to prophecyclub.com. Call 785-266-1112 or go to prophecyclub.com. Fall 2015 Preparations by Lindsey Williams. Get it today. And now, back to the program.
The amount of concern that they had, or the concern they had for their children, which, by the way, has a number of them have been educated quite well and out there in business for themselves, and he's very concerned about them. And he's concerned about what the younger elite are doing, because there's quite a rift between the younger elite and the older elite today. But he was so concerned that he went bear hunting and moose hunting. Folks, it's going to happen. And I can't say by the last day of October, because he hasn't told me that, and I try to never say anything that they don't give me. But I'll put it this way, it's going to happen before the last day of December.
Okay, let me also say this. I quoted Mina Grebin many times, and she said that the angel Gabriel told her that people need to have a year's worth of food and water, and they need to have it before the end of the summer. Now, in the Gregorian calendar, the end of summer ended September 23rd, as I recall, but nothing was said, you got to have it by September 23rd, because on September 24th, everything's going to break loose. Nothing was said like that. And if you made preparations, then those were good preparations to make. So people that prepared, have they done right or wrong, Lindsey?
Oh, people who have already prepared have done exactly the right thing. Keep in mind, my last DVD said things you must do before September the 15th. Now, why did I say September the 15th? Because I knew it wasn't going to take place on the 16th. A lot of people wouldn't even prepare until that date. I knew that September the 15th was the beginning of a critical time, that sometimes between then and the end of December, you had better do something or you will be in a world of hurt. So that's the reason I think that probably stands. So many people thought, well, that last blood moon, a few other things. Yes, those are the signs that it's yet to take place, and it will.
So have they missed anything? In other words, is that the storm past? Can they go back to sleep?
They better not go back to sleep. If they do, they are in big, big trouble. You can't disregard all the things that are out there in the way of signs. The heavens are for signs. That was the first word. Seasons, days, and years, but the first thing was signs. All these signs are out there.
All right, now let me jump in and ask you another question before we run out of time. Now, I have been saying, and my sources have told me, and this is backed up by prophets, that the global currency reset is going to hit before the end of 2015. But your elite told you something else. What'd they tell you?
The nations of the world so objected to what Christine Lagarde had done with the IMF that they put the global currency reset on hold. And the last word that I have from my elite friend is that for the time being, they may never do it, but at least it's on hold for right now.
Okay, so there you go. And by the way, I also have another fellow that is supposed to be a very big person in the financial world. People have told me he says the global currency reset has been delayed, and it may be delayed. Now, it's not my decision. However, I still think we're going to see it this year. So, again, that's my opinion. I'll have to look at my notes to see if that's what they say of the Lord, whether it happens this year. But I believe I've got two voices. I'll have to look at my notes, but I think I've got two that specifically puts it in 2015. But again, none of this comes from me. As a matter of fact, none of this comes from you. We're just quoting people that know more than us, right?
Don't give up. Keep listening to Prophecy Club every time you hear Stan out there. Don't you dare let your guard down. The person who does is in big trouble.
Okay, let's talk about food, water, and preparations and things like that. Should people make certain that they have a little bit of, at least a little bit of survival preparations with what is coming up? Everybody
that I know who is in the know has done exactly that. Those who haven't made preparations already should be doing it immediately. I don't know how to put it except to say that before September, people were buying it. Preparedness houses were literally giving out. The shelves were empty, and all of a sudden, October the 1st, they quit. That's exactly the wrong thing to have happened. So that preparation must be continued.
Okay, in our case, brothers and sisters, here's the way it works. When you get food, then a certain percentage of that goes to pay for radio time. And since, our food sales have stopped just like everyone else's, so we're on some new stations, and we still need to pay those radio stations. So if you like hearing the Prophecy Club, now would be a real good time for you to call us or go to the website or somehow get involved with our ministry and help us to help other people. Help us to tell people that, yes, the tribulation is just around the corner, and they're not getting by with it. Now, speaking of tribulation, I know that part of this email this morning, somebody, I guess, had been telling people, oh, the blood moon signal of the tribulation is coming. And, of course, I have been saying, no, it is not that soon. Just how close to the end are we? What are your thoughts there?
Well, my lead friend hasn't said anything at all. He normally only talks about financial issues. Very seldom does he ever even go into this. His wife is a born-again Christian and very precious lady. She likewise hasn't said too much because she knows that, and I realize that you can't set a date just because of a blood moon. Never in the scriptures does it ever say that a blood moon is going to be the sign of the beginning of the tribulation.
Well, I just don't think we're that close. Matter of fact, I have told people, Terry Bennett said that the fall of America would be in 2021, and I have two other reasons why I think he's correct. But again, all of that's covered in my DVD, 2014 to 2021. I recommend you get it, as it is at prophecyclub.com. Lindsey, let me read through each one of these bullet points, and I'm sure you'll have some comments that you'd like to say about that. These are the bullet points for my DVD, 2014 to 2021. First of all, September 25th, 2014 started the last 7 years of plenty. And then, of course, we talked about the Pope. 7-year tribulation will be from the years 2022 to 2028. You jump in here if you want to make a comment on any of this. Global currency reset hits this fall. Welfare checks will stop. Protesters start burning cities. Martial law declared by Obama. Suspend the 2016 presidential election. Obama stays in office. Constitution suspended. Civil rights gone. Local militias fire at Obama men. Gun confiscation is ordered. America's disarmed. Then Dimitri Duduman's prophecy kicks in. The fall of America will start with an internal revolution, started by the communists. Then Russia attacks and defeats America in a surprise nuclear attack. Then Christian martyrdom begins, and they finally form their New World Order that Daddy Bush first talked about some 20 years ago. And that's when the 7-year tribulation begins, somewhere in the ballpark of 2022. Any comments on that?
I think it's very significant that President Obama, on a major television program, within the past week, made the statement that Trump will not be the next president. And he said that he's quite sure that he could win a third term. He could be reelected for a third term. He didn't say that casually. I think he said it because in the back of his mind, that's his intention.
I think that's his intention through martial law. But yes, I saw that little smirk on the corner of his mouth as he said, no, Trump's not going to get in. And yes, I do think I would win another election if I was running. Well, he's not going to run. He's going to stay in there. But I think he knows it. And my elite friend has told me that it's getting close to common knowledge in certain circles in Washington, D.C., that he is planning martial law. There you go. I let the cat out of the bag. Well, Lindsey, we appreciate you being on Prophecy Club. Love to have you back again.
What a privilege. And next time I'll try not to wait 2 years.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Well, brothers and sisters, there's 4 things I recommend that you do. Again, tribulation is still coming. We are still looking at a global currency reset. Welfare checks stopping, protesters burning cities. It hasn't gone away. It didn't start, or let me rephrase it. It did start in September, but it didn't blossom as fast as some of us maybe thought. But it is still coming. Global currency reset, welfare checks, burning cities, martial law. It's all coming. So what do I recommend? I recommend, number 1, you go to prophecyclub.com and get you that DVD 2014 to 2021. 2014 to 2021. And by the way, while you're there, if you do not already have Lindsey Williams' DVDs, one he's been talking about is called Fall 2015 Preparations. You can get that also. And then the newest DVD I've made is Judgment, Miracles, and Oil in Israel. That's all available, prophecyclub.com. Also, while you're there, get yourself a Berkey water filter. Water in the top that's dirty, and it comes out clean at the bottom. You don't need pressure. You can literally scoop it up off the ground and pour it in the top and drink it just a few minutes later. So that's important for emergencies. Also, go to prophecyclubfood.com, and I recommend you get at least a Plan A for each person in your family. Plan A is 1 person 1 year. Plan B, food for 1 person 6 months. Plan C, 1 person 3 months. A grab-and-go bucket of 76 servings. All you got to do is add boiling water. You got 3 meals a day. Finally, everybody has to stop sinning, even the little sins. Everybody's got to turn to Jesus with their whole heart, Begin to read that King James Bible like your soul depends on it, because it does. Everybody's got to build a prayer closet. Everybody's got to get real close to Jesus so you will not deny him in the day of trouble. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your prayers, and thank you for your ongoing support. God bless. Now from the Prophecy Club, some exciting opportunities for you. Order 2014 to 2021. It's the predictions of 2 cows and 13 modern prophecies. As Joseph interpreted Pharaoh's dream, I interpret these signs and prophecies to present a picture of what you can expect from 2014 to 2021. Now remember, all of this is in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. The topics are September 25th, 2014, and how it starts the last 7 years of plenty. Then from the years 2022 to 2028 will be the 7-year tribulation. That's a very big statement. Then there will be a global currency reset. Then welfare checks will stop. Protesters start burning the cities. Martial law then declared. Obama stays in office. The Constitution suspended. Local militias formed to combat the Obama men. Gun confiscation is then ordered. That starts the internal revolution spoken of by Dmitry Duduman. Then Russia attacks America in a surprise nuclear attack. Then Christian martyrdom begins. It's 2.5 hours of some of the most important information in the last 20 years of this prophecy ministry. Call 785-266-1112 or prophecyclub.com. It's called 2014 to 2021. Call 785-266-1112 or prophecyclub.com. Order today. You will see large, well-known ministers making shocking statements contrary to the Bible. So bad, you'll have to see it to believe it. See popular pastors seduce you with lying signs and wonders. Teach a false Christ. Your mouth will fall open. The worst sins of the Bible in these DVDs called Error in the Church. Nation-killing sins in America. You won't be disappointed. You'll be furious, beyond angry. I thank God that Leslie showed me these shocking errors, and I would never have known it or believed it if I had not actually seen it. Call today and give a $50 gift, and we will immediately ship you the first 3 DVDs. 30 days later, we'll charge your card for the second $50 gift, then send you the final 8 DVDs, totaling 11 DVDs. 30 days later, we'll charge the third $50 gift. 30 days later, the fourth and final $50 gift, making it easy for you to get this fantastic set of 11 DVDs. That is 4 monthly gifts of $50 each. Error in the Church, 13 topics, 11 DVDs, valued at $330. Get started today for a gift of just $50. Call 785-266-1112 and ask them for the Error in the Church offer. $50 donation gets you 3 DVDs heading your way today. Error in the Church, 785-266-1112. Legally, we can't guarantee this trouble will come this year, but of course, having emergency supplies is a good idea. Mina Grebin says she was told to have at least 1 year's food and supplies, including water, and you must have all preparations done by the end of the 2015 summer. She says buy food and supplies. We offer Plan A, 3 meals a day, 1 person, 1 year. Plan B, 1 person, 6 months. Plan C, 1 person, 3 months, or a grab-and-go bucket with 72 meals. Call 800-924-7110 or go to prophecyclubfood.com. That's 800-924-7110 or prophecyclubfood.com. Lindsey Williams has just made his newest and perhaps his best DVD called Fall 2015 Preparations. That's right. Topics are events scheduled for September through December. Things the elite told me to do. Know what you're preparing for. Have an alternate location. Move or suffer. How to stay warm without electricity, and the date the New World Order will be implemented. You did hear that right. It's Fall 2015 Preparations. Call 785-266-1112 or go to prophecyclub.com. Call 785-266-1112 or go to prophecyclub.com. Fall